Hello, I'm Richard Herring.
I'm Abdul,
and this is Sight on Screen. Yeah,
so, it's been
a while. It's been a while. We're not sure when these are being released. A little bit. I've been busy. I've been moving.
Yeah.
So things have been a little bit out of whack. But hey, what can you do? These are
tough times.
These are tough times. People are having to do what they got to do, and I'm sure you'll forgive us. And hey, Kurt Russell.
Yeah, I think we're doing almost like a Kurt Russell special.
We seem to be on a Kurt Russell binge, don't we? And a Carpenter binge.
Yeah, because we did the Big Trouble in Little China. And now we're doing
Escape from New York.
Yes, one of my personal favorites from that era.
Oh, I love it. Love it so much.
I love it as a movie, and I also love it because it inspired one of my favorite, if not the favorite, game series.
I think if Metal Gear Solid was inspired by this movie, I think that's being a slightly generous to Metal Gear. It straight up ripped this thing off the shreds.
Yeah. like I commented while we were watching it, was that like the opening sequence of the first Metal Gear Solid, which was the first 3D one. It's literally like shot for shot the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Except that one is set underwater. This one is in air. It's shot for shot the same thing.
They might as well have character mapped this character right off Kurt Russell. Come on.
I mean, his name Snake Plissken, which his name is Snake.
Eye patch.
Eye patch. Oh
the hair.
Yeah, and even the character model. I don't know how they got away with that because he looks a lot like
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell.
Yep. It really does.
So they
must doing the same voice.
Doing the same voice. A little bit more emphasis on the voice with the Metal Gear games because you had David Hayter. Famously.
Until he got replaced by Sutherland, right?
Yeah, that was only in the last game.
This is more your territory than mine. I'm not this is not my area.
Kiefer pretty much did a straight ripoff of Kurt Russell's Snake Plissken.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So, but David Hayter has a little bit of more gruff in his voice. So it's like, what do you mean? Instead
Otacon.
Otacon.
Oh my lord.
So it's much more intense.
It's more intense. Because this is Kurt Russell in this movie is laconic AF. It is just.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like he
president.
I don't give a damn about your president.
No, sorry. I don't give a damn about your war or your president.
Yeah, no, wonderful.
Oh, it's so good. But he has a consistent expression as if he's got something terrible spelling under his nose.
It's like someone came with a spoon of either vinegar or poop or something right under his nose. His expression was like, ugh.
He's just locked there.
He looks disgusted throughout the whole movie.
It's the noise he's making, too. It's every time he touches.
Yeah. Which, again, that fits right in with Metal Gear. Yeah, no, I've loved Metal Gear ever since. So, I'm born in 92,
right?
But I've still played all of the earlier Metal Gear games. Right. The first one I was introduced to was, of course, the PlayStation 1 one. Then Metal Gear Solid 2, and then I went back and played the MSX version of the first game, and then also the SNES version of the second game, and then the MSX version, which is the real version 2.
Yeah, I mean, because the only one of the games I played is the latest one, which I got on a super sale on the PlayStation Store.
Yeah,
I think I paid, I don't even know, $10.
Yeah, which story-wise doesn't really compare to some of the earlier titles. But gameplay-wise is so much fun.
I'll be entirely honest with you. When I stole a horse by attaching it to a parachute, that was kind of the moment I thought to myself, I'm not entirely sure I'm on board with this game.
Yeah, no, Hideo Kojima, some call him a genius, some call him a whack.
I lean whack, I must admit.
He's a little bit of both, that's for sure.
that game, really quickly, I'm just kind of like, wait a second, I'm doing what?
Yeah, no, there's a very thin line between genius and quack.
If I was just shooting people in the game, fine. When I'm just hitting them with a sleep dart and then they suddenly go whoop, into the sky?
Oh, you should have upgraded that, because then eventually it goes into a wormhole.
Oh my god. No!
Yeah. You can buy the wormhole update.
Oh, no.
Within the game's currency, and then...
There was that in a cardboard box, and I'm just kind of like...
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to stop playing for a while.
Cardboard box has been a staple of the series ever since the first game. Yeah, you hide in cardboard boxes. That's the thing. Rooster Teeth has a show that they call Immersion, where they take like video game concepts and they apply it to the real world.
Yeah.
And they tried the cardboard box thing. According to them, it worked. You can in a sea of cardboard boxes. You can hide in a cardboard box.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Sure. I don't even know. Yeah, no, that game really did throw me for a loop.
It's a tough one to get into if that was the first.
Yeah, it's kind of like I'm trying to play it. I'm thinking to myself, I want to play something more realistic, like God of War. just when that is an actual legitimate thought you're having, clearly something has happened.
Oh yeah, no, it only got it got much worse with the years. It started out with a pretty down-to-earth 80s nuclear threat, Cold War kind of thing, where, everyone was afraid of nuclear war.
Yeah.
And you're sent there as basically steak.
Yeah.
Steak plus
But again, this is the thing. It's kind of like this game really is kind of amazing, because every time you think you might be on board, it really does pull a hat trick.
Mm-hmm.
You have a really good intro sequence, you got a little interesting thing going on, you're airlifting a horse as if you're teleporting it. Fine.
Yep.
Okay. Wait a second. I don't know what this game is. I'm going to look it up a little bit. Ooh, okay. Cold War, super spies, all the rest of it. A man is being taken over by an arm that he had grafted onto him that is possessed by a Russian?
Actually, no. The main character's twin brother.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
It goes telenovela.
It goes really telenovela.
Yeah. No, they go all out with that stuff.
It is my twin brother. No, it is your twin brother's arm.
And then later you find out, no, it was only through hypnosis or some weird shit. Yeah.
Through hypnosis.
He was never actually in a part of it.
I don't know.
Oh, you learn so many weird things in the fourth game. Oh.
Yeah, no, I just kind of... That was really... It's like, am I going to try this? Nope. Am I going to try and understand this? Nope.
It is certainly a series that if you didn't grow up with it, it is almost impossible to get into. And even for someone like me, who is a so-called veteran of the series, I certainly see how absurd it is. But I kind of revel in the absurdity.
Again, it's kind of like, okay, this looks absurd. Can I maybe enjoy the humor of this? Click on the clips section. First clip. Otacon, do you think love can bloom on the battlefield?
Yes! That's my favorite line!
And you're just... I have lost completely the plot. I don't know what's happening anymore.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh, so many memories coming back now. Oof. Oh, yeah. But...
Yeah, no, I was thinking to myself, there's no way we weren't going to go down this road at some point, so I'm getting it out of the way early.
Yeah, tangent aside.
Tangent desperately aside.
We might come back to it, I don't know.
We probably will.
Because Hawk is just a direct... Hawk, who is the colonel in this movie.
Yeah, who's being played by Lee Van Cleef.
From from American Ninja fame.
No.
Yes, that's where I remember it from.
No. Lee Van Cleef is a guy who showed up in several Sergio Leone films. He's in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. He is also in For a Few Dollars More, where he is the second bounty hunter next to Clint Eastwood. Yeah. Because that's kind of how those series were, where Clint Eastwood was kind of the newbie. He'd only been on a TV show. He'd been on Rawhide before he went off and did these Italian westerns.
Yeah, because then he had Charles Bronson doing them before.
Yeah, exactly. And after.
Once Upon a Time in the West, which is probably... is Sergio Leone's best movie.
I love that movie so much.
Oh, the framing. Amazing.
But Van Cleef is kind of the old hand at this, because he's been doing these... He is that American actor who never really made it in the big leagues. He's not a Bronson. He didn't do The Great Escape. No. He pretty much went straight into the Italian trash to then end up in the American trash.
Essentially, yeah. Which, To each his own, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, this movie's kind of filled with those guys. Also, Donald Pleasance.
Yes. No, this movie brings out all of the Carpenter classics.
Yeah, but I mean, Pleasance is great for this kind of stuff, because Pleasance is also one of these big classical actors who ended up in all these trashy American movies in the 80s, 70s, and 80s were just his time to shine, baby.
Yeah, and one of those that got fame sort of after they...
Yeah, no, in his older year, more of a cult.
Yeah, more cult following.
Because he's in The Great Escape.
Yeah.
He's the forger.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like he is one of those actors who really was very good, but he never got the superstardom, so he kind of turned to the cult to keep him going.
Yeah. He never reached the heights of a Steve McQueen, for example.
No, I mean, he
Great Escape. But
Donald Pleasance has the career trajectory that Ian McKellen would have had if it wasn't for Lord of the Rings.
Right.
Ian McKellen was exactly the same path. He was in The Shadow with Alec Baldwin. I mean,
that
was
true.
his career.
Yeah.
And then he ended up in The Third Property, and suddenly he was legitimate. So he was kind of like, all right.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird shift that happened in the early 2000s where, and also now, where we're seeing sort of these very niche genres, fantasy, comic books, all that stuff, are becoming very, very mainstream and very legitimate now.
I mean, the biggest TV show for the last decade has been a fantasy series. Game of Thrones has been the cultural touchstone of a generation.
And who would have thought that? Like, if you had told someone in the 80s that Game of Thrones, a fantasy series akin to Lord of the Rings, is going to be, but a darker political version of it, is going to be the best-selling and the most viewed show ever. Well,
if you had told someone back in the 80s that Tolkien guy, those books he made that all the nerds in college hippies love, is going to become a multi-billion-dollar franchise...
Yeah, they're making a TV show now.
No one would have believed you. Not a chance.
Yeah.
Because sci-fi had already kind of done a bit of a thing. Sci-fi had a little bit more respectability because Kubrick had been at it.
Yeah, so I think that was the shift for sci-fi, was 2001 Space Odyssey, then came sort of Star Wars, Star Trek.
Yep.
Well, Star Trek first, but they sort of made it a bit more mainstream, but it was still kind of niche. And again, it wasn't until we start reaching the early 2000s where they kind of become this huge blockbuster.
I would have said Star Wars is kind of what did that for sci-fi, but then it went down again.
Yeah, that was the thing.
We kind of lost it for a little bit there.
Yeah,
because
the Star Trek movies did not help.
No. Wait, what is this movie about? The whales are gonna kill us all? Okay, Mr. D-Boy.
Yeah.
Whatever you say.
Oh, man. But yes, as I was tangents.
Tangents, they just keep on coming. It's interesting, though, because this movie is it is both relatively unknown and yet a complete cultural staple.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that became a cult classic after bombing heavily in the box office.
It didn't do that badly.
I'm pretty sure it did.
It earned about $25 million off a $6 million budget.
I heard that it was.
It was panned critically to the end of time.
There we go.
It made cult money. It was like a midnight screener. They did lots of money on the midnight circuit, same as Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Which is a fantastic movie.
Love that movie.
Oh,
but it was panned to the end of time. Because it had the exact same... It had what it's almost called the Carpenter problem, where he did such a genre shift on everything he touched, nobody knew how to review it. Because the exact same thing happened with The Thing. People were going in expecting a straight-up horror movie, and what they were actually getting themselves into is a sci-fi alien horror movie.
Yeah, and also... very much like this, which is more of a slow burn.
Yeah.
Building the suspense slowly and surely, which wasn't really the thing, because, Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th kind of movies, they were very popular. And even his take on a slasher was pretty unique with the first Halloween movie.
Well, it was the first slasher. It was like the first horror movie that was a lot more about the physicality than it was about...
the monster.
The mind game, or the monster. Here we have it's a psychopath. It's doing something very different.
And they make a point of mentioning that, this is a psychopath. I saw it in his eyes.
Oh,
his eyes.
A doll's eyes.
Yeah.
Donald Pleasance, again, doing an American accent.
Yeah. Donald Pleasance.
You can almost hear it's... He has same thing with Malcolm McDowell every time he does
yes.
it. You can just
funny you should mention Malcolm McDowell because
Okay.
he was He played Donald Pleasant's role in the Rob Zombie
he
movies.
was Loomis.
Loomis and
Dr.
Rob
Loomis.
Zombie's Halloween remakes.
And they both have this very you can hear the Brit fighting for control.
Yes.
It's
Very well put.
every time they speak, it's like just you're one little inflection away.
Yeah, it's always like it's riding that edge of being British and American at the same time.
Oh, if you ever want to catch an old flick with Donald Pleasance in it, where you really can understand this career trajectory I'm talking about, because he had it spectacularly, and Christopher Lee had it spectacularly.
True.
These amazing movies they ended up in the 70s. My
Christopher
favorite
Lee was in the Dracula movie.
No. Christopher Lee did the Dracula movie in the late 60s. That's when he became the Hammer Dracula.
Yeah.
When he played Fu Manchu,
Yes.
Destroyer of
Oh
Worlds.
my god, I've forgotten completely about Fu Manchu.
Or my personal favorite for Donald Pleasance,
such a
Puma Man.
Excuse me?
Puma Man. The movie that did what could only be described as the greatest flying sequence of all time, where they had a man standing with his arms in the air and they screamed the city behind him.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I've seen the meme. I have not seen the movie.
I saw it on Mystery Science Theater 3000. And It is one of these silliest, and it's Donald Pleasance in a latex outfit because he's an Aztec destroying something.
I also saw it on Mystery Science Theater 3000, but I never actually saw the full episode.
I watched the entire thing
because I came in late and I only saw sort of the super clips on YouTube.
I watched all of it.
Oh,
literally
all of it. There's 300 episodes.
Yes, there is, and all of them are feature-length.
Yeah, because they watch a whole movie.
I went to university and I had time.
Well. I was too busy playing Metal Gear.
Those movie games are long, aren't they?
Actually, what's funny, so...
No, here we go.
We're bringing it back, just one last time. So the first Metal Gear Solid, which is the one I played the most. I finished that game probably close to 100 times.
Right.
I played through it that many times. And skipping all of the cutscenes and all the dialogue from the telephone dialogue or codec, as they call it.
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
If you skip all of it, it's only a 2-hour, 14-minute game.
How long is it with all the dialogue?
It's close to 22 hours. Yeah, and that's on the PlayStation 1, so that's...
What?
Yeah.
No.
2 discs.
2-hour game.
2 hour, 14 minutes was the fastest I got through it.
22. Oh, wow.
So you got 20 hours of cutscenes and 2 hours of gameplay.
Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. Amazing game. I love it. So yes, those games are long, not for the gameplay.
No.
They're basically just elongated TV shows in gameplay
goodness.
form.
Give Hideo Kojima a TV show. I'd love to see what he did with that. Did he do Death Stranding?
Yeah, he did Death Stranding. It's coming on PC in not too long. I think by the time this episode comes out,
I've seen a little bit of the gameplay and I didn't understand it.
I heard the only person whom I know has played it from the people that I know said that he only got into it and only understood the game 40 hours in.
Wow, that's someone with resilience. I don't
think
I could have done that.
He's a pretty big Hideo Kojima fan, so he was kind of giving him the benefit of the doubt and trying to like it. And he said it took him 40 hours to really click in his head. And then said after that, it was a wonder to play through it. I'm like, 40 hours? Are you insane?
Now, I'm not entirely sure about this TV show. I'll only watch the first 3 seasons to decide if I want to keep watching it. But
it is an 80 hour.
Oh my god!
Never. So it's a long game. It's kind of like most games nowadays are like that.
That's true. Now God of War took a long time.
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption 2 took forever. I'm still not done with that.
Yeah. Well, I almost just started.
You'll enjoy it. I think you're gonna dig it. Oh man! But tangent
aside. I just had to bring that up because you said it was a long game. It's not really.
No, that's a lie. I mean, that's the one thing I will give Escape from New York. This movie moves at a clip. We have no time for almost anything. So we open up, and there is no... It's weird, because it's made in 1981. Mm-hmm. It is set in 1997. So it is kind of a future world where Manhattan
specifically, yeah,
broke away from the mainland United States in an earthquake. Mm-hmm. So their response was simply, well, the crime rate is terrible in Manhattan. We'll just put big walls around it.
Yeah, prior to that, they said that the crime rate has risen 400%.
400%, yeah.
So they were just like, let's build a wall.
Yeah.
Very Trumpian of them. Let's build a wall and lock it up.
This movie's kind of weird that way. There's a lot.
Another game that I just realized ripped this off. Batman Arkham City.
Did they?
Yeah, well, that's the whole premise of the game. Is they block off, they wall off a whole section of the city because the crime rate's too high.
Okay.
The entire premise of the game. And it's a Batman game.
I mean, if Rudy Giuliani had an option. So,
yes.
We're going to take all these criminals and prostitutes and we're going to put them on Manhattan and we're going to wall it up. No, it's
we're apolitical, man. We're apolitical.
We're very apolitical on the show. Yeah, we're central. We stay dead down the line.
Yes, so, back to the movie.
And then, already, I mean, we're pretty much like, this is the city, New York is a prison, great. We're left with that thought for maybe 5 seconds before the president is crashing.
Yeah, because you get the alarm, and then they're like, oh, what is this, David 14?
Yeah.
What is this code?
A flight is crashing, and it's not actually on the logs or something like that.
Yeah, and then they suddenly get an error message saying that this is Air Force One, i.e. the president. And then you immediately cut to hijacking, where the person who hijacks the Air Force One says, pay us, I don't know how much.
No. The person who hijacked Air Force One is a full-blown terrorist. It's... we are the Socialist Party.
Yeah, that's what it was.
We're going to kill the president for the workers and all that
stuff.
That's
what it was.
It's very
exactly.
Something. And they crashed the plane crashes, but the escape pod,
which is strange to have on an airplane,
which is not a real thing, even though they tried to say so in Air Force One that it existed. Because that makes no sense. But anyway,
like, why would you... That makes no sense.
So the president gets in a bright red Kinder Egg, and he drops from the sky.
And there was no toy inside.
No, there was not. There was only Donald Pleasance. Who is not a toy, he is a snack.
Well, they do dress him up as a doll
at one point. Boy, that was weird. Suddenly Donald Pleasance is looking a little bit like Hulk Hogan, and I have mixed feelings.
Yeah, with luscious blonde hair.
Like, okay, dress him up, Annie. So,
wonderful.
But he crashes, and then he is taken hostage by the Duke of New York, played by Isaac Hayes. And at the exact same time, very luckily for Lee Van Cleef, Kurt Russell, Snake. Call me Snake. Or Snake Plissken. Wow, what a name.
I know.
Him in his awesome jacket and terrible trousers are arriving at the island.
And boots over the pants.
Oh, such big boots. Just ultra boots. Is arriving to be put in prison, and he used to be Special Forces, so you have to go get him.
Yeah.
Yep.
And apparently, throughout the entire movie, everyone knows this man.
Everybody knows this man. I have to say a small note here. This movie is very special to John Carpenter. Not because of when the movie was made. It was special to John Carpenter because of the lawsuit that got him over $1 million much later on.
What was the lawsuit?
Luc Besson, the guy who made Fifth Element, made a movie called Lockup, which is Guy Pearce has to rescue the president's daughter in space.
I have seen that movie.
Yeah.
That is a wonderful movie. It's so schlocky.
It is such a rip-off of this movie that there was an actual court case where John Carpenter sued him for stealing his script and won.
Interesting.
He was supposed to be paid €250,000. Luc Besson appealed, and they decided to pay him €1 million. Or something along those lines.
Oh my god. Idiot.
It's such, and when you see them, it is.
I have seen
Lockup.
It's a great schlock.
It's such a schlocky movie.
And Guy Pearce. I mean, I have a fondness for Guy Pearce.
Yeah. Memento really sold me on Pearce.
Yeah, he is a really underrated actor, and he always get these really
terrible
bad
roles.
Terrible roles.
Yeah.
Anywho, so I really liked him in that because he got to be like, well, first of all, he got to be the hero, which he doesn't get.
No, he doesn't get to do that often.
And he got to really play up his comedy, which
he's good.
It's actually pretty okay.
Pretty funny.
Yeah.
No, good. So John Carpenter got paid for that, and he was very happy about that. It's the same way. That's
an interesting thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because they did the new Halloween movie, and they interviewed John Carpenter and said, "Are you excited about the new movie coming out?" He said, "I'm really excited about getting paid.
Yeah.
I just want to stay at home, smoke weed, play video games, and play my music."
As you do. I would love to be in this position.
Yeah, that guy's just living the dream, baby. Those royalties are still coming in.
Yeah.
Oh, no. So, yeah, this movie is... But, I mean, there's like... People talk about Die Hard on a plane, Die Hard on a this, Die Hard on a that. There's a lot of movies that are Escape from New York in a something.
Yeah, which is weird. That's why I think it was so weird that he actually won the lawsuit, because... Like you said, there's like literally hundreds of these movies.
Yeah, but it's more the fact that they were so close. I mean, there's like almost dialogue ripped off.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I can see that.
Yeah.
Granted, I've only seen Lock Up once, unlike this movie, which I've seen several times.
Likewise. Yeah.
Yeah, but I can sort of see that. Sure. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a funny little tidbit. Interesting. But yeah, back to the movie. Tangent aside.
Hey.
So yeah, it moves really fast in the beginning.
Oh yeah, we get going real quick.
Yeah, and they do the implants and Kurt Russell.
Well, I mean, this is the thing I love about this movie is that it is really moving at a clip, but it likes its little moments.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like, we're going, and then Lee Van Cleef, Kurt Russell in an office, and suddenly the entire movie goes,
let's take a breather.
Let's take a moment here, everybody. This is cool. Everyone enjoying how cool this is? Look at this.
Yeah, and that's no more evident than in the scene a little later on when he finds the bracelet, which is not on the president.
No.
He goes to the pod, and then he just sits on a chair.
Yeah.
And takes a breather, which you don't really see that in movies. Like, in reality, yes, if you have 24 hours to find someone, you're not going to be on the run for those entirety of the 24 hours, you're gonna take a breather at one point.
Yeah, it's also right at the beginning where we enjoyed the commercial break.
Yes,
Kurt Russell gets off a helicopter and it fades to black, and then this movie starts again. And
what happened?
Was that where the title screen was gonna be? Did we change something in post?
I think so.
Yeah, it's like.
But a fade to black is also a post, so a post-production idea. So
it's kind of like the title people got confused.
And they're just like, "Oh, where do we put it?" They forgot to edit it out.
Yeah, no,
the same thing happened with the jacket.
Oh yeah,
yeah, because that was our observation. Yeah, because the scene starts. It's a single cut. Mm-hmm. The scene starts with him with his jacket off. He then puts it on. Yeah. They go to the doctor's office.
Into a room.
And then he immediately has to take it off again.
They make
and the previous scene, he had his jacket on. So the fact that it was off to begin with was a little weird.
Yeah.
And that's when I suggested that this was probably the second take or something. And he just forgot to put the jacket back on. And so they walked out like, oh shit, I gotta put my jacket on.
I don't even know what happened there. But, I mean, this movie was made on not a lot of money.
Yeah, $6 million. Even for 81, that's really, really...
It looks great, though.
Oh, yeah. No, it does the same thing with that Blade Runner does, which is, like, using lighting and matte paintings and models to your advantage.
A lot of that kind of thing going here.
Well, you don't need to go, like, all out with special effects. You can do a lot of it with a lower budget if you just have the right lighting. Yeah.
It's also the fact that Carpenter has a good visual style for this kind of material. Yeah. There's a lot of these walking through the empty streets at night shots that are just gorgeous.
Yeah, and he knows when to have a cinematic camera. He knows when to have a steady cam. He knows when to have a still shot.
And he knows when to kick in that synth score.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, that synth score is all over this.
Very similar to Halloween. But I prefer this over the Halloween score.
I agree, because it's got more dimension to it.
Yeah.
The Halloween score, the Halloween score he made for so little money, he literally did the score without watching the movie. He had a sheet of paper that had the timings on it. Because he couldn't afford a recording studio that had a screen available.
Okay, that's weird.
So he literally had to just kind of remember what that scene was, and then have the timing on how long he should be playing and when the big beats were. And then they overlaid it afterwards and kind of hoped for the best.
Kind of impressive in that case.
I mean, Carpenter, he directed it, so he knew what the beats were. He had it in his head, but still.
Yeah, no, that's really impressive.
Yeah, no, it's a great score. There's even bits of it, which is weird, because it's kind of like, the score is full Carpenter. Suddenly we're in kind of Blade Runner territory?
Yeah. It mixed a little bit.
And then we're suddenly into...
When was Blade Runner released? I know that the final cut sort of thing, that was in 2007.
82 is a Blade Runner.
82
or 83, I think, yeah.
So maybe actually, then by that time, they probably...
Blade
Runner probably ripped it off.
Yeah, but Vangelis had been around beforehand, and he was the one who did the entire score, so there was definitely some influence going on there.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. It's like, I didn't mean rip off as
I know what you meant.
I know. Yeah. That came out wrong.
Oh, I don't know. But I mean, it's interesting because that score really does have some dimension here, especially because it has not themes, but sounds kind of that are attached to certain characters.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Every time the Duke shows up, do.
Yeah, it had that like almost Beat It kind of vibe, which is really interesting. And when Kurt Russell's alone, you have that like really slow synth score, and then when there's some action, it's more upbeat.
Yep.
And then you also have Cerebro,
the
brain.
The brain. Which is Harry Dean Stanton, I mean, Harry Dean Stanton's done so many great movies. He did Paris, Texas, he's in Repo Man, the older one, not the new one with Jude Law. But everyone remembers him from Alien. He is one of the two mechanics. He's the one who keeps going, Yep.
And the first one to die, right?
Yep. He was the first one to die.
Yeah, with the alien, the xenomorph right behind him.
Yeah, and you don't see the xenomorph, you just see the tail out of focus, and he's looking for the
actually,
cat.
the xenomorph is in the scene, it's just that it's so well hidden. Because it's like, it's so still.
And it just moves a little bit, and then it cuts. And it's such a great scene of him walking around. Because I actually analyzed that scene back when I was studying film.
That is how you do horror, right?
Because that scene is perfect. But there's a beautiful moment, which is he's walking under like a cooling unit, and he washes himself in the water, and it's the only time during the scene his eyes are closed, and you're just sitting there going, it's like, oh no. And he's so great. He's a great actor, though. Harry Dean Stanton, Paris, Texas is...
I don't think I've seen that.
Great movie. Do yourself a favor.
Will do.
No, he's an actor who carries both a lot of emotional weight and he looks like worn leather.
Yeah. What have I seen him in where he's just a drunk? Recently. He was in something recently. Probably Always Sunny.
Is that the one with Schwarzenegger? Is he in the Last Stand or something like that? He might have been. He looks like he is. Yeah. I think he's in that movie. Yeah, he's like he's a drunk. He's done a lot of movies like that, though.
Yeah. But yeah, no, certainly a great actor, underrated. A lot of the people in this is a pretty
solid cast. I mean, there's a lot of good, and there's a lot of repeats from old Carpenter movies, which we noticed.
Yeah. From Donald Pleasance, obviously from Halloween. Yeah. You had I forget her name.
Maggie.
Yeah.
Who is the actress? I can't remember the actress's name, but LeBeau, I think.
Yeah, LeBeau.
She is. I think she was John Carpenter's wife at that point, or something like that.
Maybe, but she was in The Fog.
She was in The Fog. She was the main actress there.
Which was the movie right before. So Halloween, Fog, then this.
Yeah, and it's also the sheriff from... Yes. Oh, the sheriff from Halloween is in this in a smaller role, and the main villain from Assault on Precinct 13, which is Carpenter's first kind of proper movie. Dark Star not being included because that was actually a college project. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's the main villain in that, even though he doesn't actually talk during the entire movie. He's more of a silent figure.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen the original. I've only seen the Ethan Hawke sort of...
Lawrence Fishburne one.
God,
that movie sucks.
Yeah.
the original is way better. Really
I've had it on my radar for a while.
Original's
I wanted to see it. But because usually when you get a remake, it's because the original is good.
Yeah, no, I mean the original...
Usually.
I gotta tell you though, the original... You gotta give John Carpenter credit. He's like, okay, you know what? I've made this comedy film in college. It's my first major movie. I'm making a bit of a crime movie. How shall I open it? A little girl being shot in the chest.
Yeah, you don't get that.
Okay, movie.
You you very rarely get children in harm's way in movies.
Oh yeah, no, the entire story is instigated by. Do you know the plot of the movie at all?
I know the plot of the remake.
Okay, the plot of the original movie is...
Let's see how similar they are.
That, while at the same time that a prison convoy is waiting at a sheriff station that's closing down and running on a skeleton crew, a group of street thugs who have got their hands on a bunch of weapons are chasing a man who they killed his daughter on the off chance, and they're just trying to finish the job, kind of. And he holds up in this police station.
That's sort of the same thing.
Is it? Okay.
I think so. I think the only difference is that... Yeah, no, I think that's pretty much the same thing. Yeah,
no, I remember watching... And that Ethan Hawke one just fell right out of my head. I couldn't be bothered.
It's not great.
No, it was so generic and just plain looking. I'm like...
And, like, not to speak ill of either Fishburne or Hawke. They're both...
I can talk fairly ill of Hawke if I have to, but not Fishy.
No, they're both... I think they're both really good.
Hawke has his good and his bad. The Purge, first one.
Well, yeah, he's been in a lot of shitty movies.
He's been in a lot of shitty movies. Fishburne has a better track record.
Horrible. But he was really good in, like, for example, what was it called?
Are you going to see Before Sunset?
Yes.
Of course you are.
Sunrise is the first one?
Yeah, Before Sunrise.
And I also liked him in Waking Life. He had a very short role in that one, but it was really good. I like him in, he was in, obviously Training Day.
Training Day. He's really good in Training Day.
Yeah. He's also really good in a pretty recent movie. Both of them. He was one with Emma Watson. He was really good at him.
Okay.
And then, I don't remember the names, but that was really good. And then there was another one called First Reform that came out, I think, last year or the year before.
Heard of it.
Where he's supposed to be a priest. Really, really good.
Oh. Okay.
I don't want to spoil anything because I think you should actually watch it. It's really good.
Oh, okay. I mean, Hawke can act. It's just he has a bad habit of picking bad projects.
Yes, he picks a lot of really bad projects.
Yeah, no, I mean, Ethan Hawke can do a lot of things. Action, not really one of them.
No. But he does have range. So
he does have range. No, I'll give him that. Fishburne can do action.
Yes. I mean, all you have to do is watch Matrix.
Pretty much. Yeah. It's kind of like, all right, you John Wick. Hey,
John Wick, too.
You got some stuff going on.
And also, if you want to see some older movies where he does gangster movies.
Oh, yeah. He's done a...
what was it called?
I know which one you mean. It's the one where he plays... It's not... what is that guy's name? Bugs? No.
Yeah. Bugsy's... something like that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's weird because he played the character, which is... the old man in American Gangster that Denzel Washington is working for in the beginning.
Another great movie.
Oh, I love the Denzel Washington parts of that movie.
Yes.
I get bored by the Russell Crowe parts of that movie.
Completely agree.
I've watched that entire movie one time. I have watched the Denzel cut of that movie several times.
I've watched the whole movie twice, and that's it. But yes, I completely agree. The Denzel parts are by far...
Oh, look, it's Russell Crowe. Skip. There's Denzel.
Again, Russell Crowe, good actor.
Oh, Russell Crowe can act, but man, man.
He also has his moments.
Russell Crowe needs something to chew on. I liked Russell Crowe when he's kind of really going for it. Russell Crowe on half tank really just doesn't.
Yeah, like in Insider.
Yep, Insider is
really
great. Gladiator. He carries that entire movie. Beautiful Mind. He's great.
Fantastic.
Hell, I like him in Virtuosity because he's doing something crazy.
Virtuosity is amazing.
Virtuosity.
Also Denzel, right?
Yeah, Denzel. Yeah. Big man himself. Oh, that movie's so much fun.
That movie is amazing. I liked him in Man of Steel. I like that segment with him.
Only you.
I know.
I was watching that movie and having a running bet who was going to bore me more, him or Kevin Costner.
I'm guessing Costner won.
Costner won, because Costner won literally just, goodbye, a tornado
took him.
I got paid!
And I have to pay lip service to Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead.
Of course you do. Yeah.
Everyone go out and watch it.
Big Rames, everybody.
Whenever that comes out, with Dave Bautista.
Oh, with Dave Bautista. Oh, man. Oh.
Yeah. Just had to mention that.
Every time you and Zack Snyder, you fanboy.
I'm really not. It's so funny. I'm really not.
Fanboy! Have we ever
do fanboys actually like criticize? I don't know.
Have we got through one of these without you mentioning Zack Snyder? I don't think
I mentioned Zack Snyder last time.
I think you did.
Well, probably.
I think you mentioned Man of Steel.
Yes.
Every time.
Zack Snyder, everyone. Oh, I think I did mention last time that they officially confirmed the Justice League Snyder cut.
You prick!
Zack Snyder.
Bastard.
A national treasure. International treasure, if you will.
He's an international something.
Something. Alright, but tangent aside. Snyder tangent aside. It's a specific tangent.
We love this movie, everybody. We really do.
Yeah, it's an amazing movie that you have to watch.
It's really difficult when we haven't seen each other properly for a bit, because all we want to do is just talk.
Yeah, let's talk nonsense.
We just want to talk nonsense at each other for a while, and you have to unfortunately listen to it. So
you don't have to.
You don't have to. You have
we appreciate that.
We do appreciate. Oh yeah, we're very thankful.
Yeah. Back to the movie. So, yes, like you were saying, the movie does have a really fast pace, but then doesn't mind taking a breather every now and then.
Yeah.
Really interesting scene right following the chair, where he sits on the chair, which is where he meets the girl, gives her a cigarette, she starts flirting with him, and immediately dies.
Yeah, immediately dies because the crazies are coming out.
Or something from the sewers.
Yeah, we go full zombie movie.
Yeah.
Even the music goes full zombie movie. It's
pretty much like direct take from... Because we mentioned Beat It from Michael Jackson.
Yeah, it's
very thriller.
Very thriller.
Very thriller. Coming out of the sewers.
Yeah. For me, it reminds me a heck of a lot of an Italian horror movie called Demons by Lucio Bava. And that's one of those like classic Italian kind of late 80s horror themed things where it's like, it's very stylish. And this has a lot of that with the street lights going on, and it's at night, but it's very well illuminated in most parts. We only have a few moments of darkness.
Is it like The Dead Don't Die, where they literally comment on how long is this day gonna last?
Yes, sun's not gone down yet.
Yeah,
that's a song by
Sturgill
Simpson.
Sturgill Simpson.
No, sorry, we're not doing the book.
That's a song by Hello, I'm Adam Driver.
That's a song by Sturgill Simpson.
It's a great song.
Because they don't die.
We also mentioned that movie.
Yes, we did. That movie we share, though. We can both talk about that movie.
That's great.
We haven't reviewed a Zack Snyder movie. I don't know why you keep bringing him up. Mainly because you keep threatening that we have to review his movies.
I do.
And I'm living in fear.
It will happen. I promise you it's really gonna happen.
Mercy. No.
You're gonna watch the ultimate cut of Batman v Superman. That's gonna happen at some point. Just strap in for a 3 hour.
Days, it's gonna be Abdul here talking about the ultimate cut and me hanging from the rafters.
Oof.
Just no.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to it. That, and then we might do the 4 hour Watchmen cut.
Back to the movie. Back
to the movie. No, I don't actually want to watch that again, to be honest.
You really watched that?
Of course I watched that.
Of course you did. You sadist. So...
That was actually the only cut I watched.
You're a masochist.
That's the only cut I did watch. I haven't seen the theatrical cut.
What's wrong with you?
I like Watchmen.
I like the comic.
Not the movie, yeah. I'm talking about
I like the comic.
The graphic novel. I really like Watchmen.
That's my exposure to it all. But, no, I mean, the one tip that I told you when we were watching this, that it is one of my favorite little factoids from this.
Yes, we have to talk about this, because it's genius.
Yeah, the way that they're going to get him into this walled-off city is this little airplane thing.
Mm-hmm.
And when he's doing it...
It's a glider.
They have a glider. And you have a digital display showing the city.
Yeah, it's like a wireframe display.
Yeah. Here's the thing. If they were going to actually do that using a computer... That's a moving 3D model. NASA couldn't do that in 1881. I mean, it was just impossible almost digitally. If you were going to do it, it would have cost more than the entire film's budget.
Yeah, probably. That one
So,
shot.
that one shot on a little screen. So what they did is they had a model of New York that they were using for the kind of exterior shots of the plane, of the glider flying.
Also, just generally on exterior shots.
Yeah, they had some exterior shots. They had a model of New York they'd been using. I think they borrowed it from a Metropolitan Museum or something of that nature, which is quite standard practice back in the day. And what they did is they took glow-in-the-dark tape and marked out all of the digital lines on the city.
Yeah, all the edges of the building.
All the edges of the building and all these like grid lines that you would get from a digital display in glow-in-the-dark tape, turned off the lights, and filmed the city to make it look like it was a digital readout.
And it looks phenomenal.
It looks fantastic.
I don't know how they did it. It still boggles me.
1981, that was future technology, and they were showing it to you.
It's kind of the same thing when you want to watch the behind the scenes for the first, especially the first Star Wars movie.
Oh, yeah.
New Hope. It's amazing what they were able to do with those models and the technology of it at the time. Like, they really took ingenuity.
Really early day of green screening.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. Where they're just having to cut out the sections and such.
It's amazing that those people didn't get more credit.
Yeah.
Because...
Oh, my favorite one for that? How they did the lightsabers. Do you know this?
Yeah, didn't they draw them? They literally drew them by hand, right?
No, what they did is that they went frame for frame and cut out the tube that was representing the lightsaber and put a light behind it of the color that would then color off on the film, because that's what film does. It absorbs color.
Ah, that's really smart.
Yeah, so they just put it like a flashlight with a red color.
So it wasn't even like early CGI where you just drew it by hand. It was actually all done.
Just a light. They did it by hand later on because they found that was actually easier.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
Yeah.
But that explains why, sometimes the lightsabers are incredibly thin, sometimes they're really big.
Yep, exactly. Because it's
the same cutout, essentially. Yeah. Because they only had the one knife.
And I love the fact that when you're watching it, you can still see it turn into an aluminium tube sometimes.
Sometimes.
No, I mean, this movie, the special effects here are old school, but awesome. They're very well implemented.
Yeah, like the small practical explosions here and there.
Oh, yeah.
The cars, that one scene with the car wall that they built and when you drive through it.
I mean, and let's be honest, the matte painting stuff is like Citizen Kane level.
Yeah,
it's just so
beautiful.
Good. This New York landscape.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Or cityscape, which is just great. And the moving water and all and the helicopter with the light.
With the light that they had to animate as well.
Cool.
It's really good.
And it just looks awesome. I mean, that's kind of the big thing to take away from this.
Visually...
This movie rocks.
An amazing movie.
Yep.
Story-wise...
Simple, but...
It's very simple, but I think effective.
It moves. It really moves. It keeps going, and you always know where the objective is.
Yeah.
He has to get the president, and you're like, okay, I know what that is.
This is one of those concepts where it works really well in movie form.
Yes.
Most of the time you feel like movies either have too much to say or not enough to say, where it could have been a short film. This shows like proper pacing and writing of the time, which is like, this is perfect for the time length of the movie.
Yep.
The story that they tell is exactly that length.
And the thing they do really well here is that they don't feel a lot of need to show you in between shots.
No, because why would you?
Yeah, so I mean,
because the premise is really simple. You don't need to show any in between shots.
So Pliskin or Snake, call me Snake.
Well, he says at the end, "My name's Pliskin."
Yeah, it's just he just likes being a pain in the ass. This guy. That's kind of his whole personality, pretty much.
Which kind of meshes with little Big Trouble in Little China. Jack Black.
This is the opposite side. Very competent, none of the humor.
None of the humor.
He isn't likable.
No,
he's not at all likable in this. And this was kind of like this was the Kurt Russell turn. He had been Golden Boy, Hollywood, Disney, and this was the movie that broke him out of it.
Yeah.
He grew out his hair. He got a gruff beard.
Oh, luscious hair.
Beautiful hair. It's weird. He's got this surfer hair, and he's kind of got the surfer bod, and he's wearing this tight little tank top.
And camo.
And camo trousers, and these high boots, and you're like, that is not a good look on anybody.
No?
You look like those are tearaway pants, man. Are you about to start giving us a show?
But he still looks cool.
He does!
He oozes cool.
Does that jacket look like it's been run over by 1,000 cars? Yes. Do I want one? Yes. we were both sitting there going like, I kind of like that jacket.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Admittedly, I say that of most jackets I see in film. I am kind of... If there's one thing I hoard, it's jackets.
A leather jacket.
I love a good leather jacket.
Yeah.
I am a kind of a sucker for it. No, but it's... I love...
Since we mentioned video games.
Oh, God, here we go.
A good leather jacket.
A good leather
Max
jacket.
Payne.
Max Payne. He does end up with one of those in the second movie, let's be honest.
Movie? Oh, Escape from LA.
Escape from LA. He's wearing a bit of a Max Payne jacket in that.
We don't speak of that movie. That movie, no.
Yeah.
We will not be doing an episode on that.
No, we will not.
I hope.
There's Escape from New York, and then there's Escape from the Taxman. Because
Yes.
somebody needed to get paid.
I'm hoping Carpenter got paid for that one.
I think Carpenter and Russell walked away from that smiling like bandits and didn't go to the... I don't think they went to the premiere.
No. Why would you?
It's like, what do you mean premiere? We got premiere. I got the check right here.
You mentioned the surfer hair and surfer body. There is the surf scene in Escape from LA.
Escape from LA. There really is.
Oh, wonderful.
No. Flashbacks. Oh, I've watched that movie.
It's amazing.
Nah. Are we really going to recommend Escape from LA?
No.
Good. I'm just checking. Just making sure. Yeah, as you can tell, we're not really going through this movie scene by scene. It's not.
No.
It's not necessary because it's not that kind of movie. It's a movie that you know the story of.
Yeah.
He is a badass ex-super soldier who has to go and get the president in a terrible place.
Well, we have to mention how everybody knows this man.
No, it is the running joke
of the whole movie.
The whole movie.
Every single person he meets. Aren't you Snake Plissken?
Aren't you Snake Plissken? I thought you were dead.
Every
time.
And then even later, Mr. Brain, who thinks he actually died in an earlier scene, goes, I thought you were dead. He's like, listen, pal.
I'm tired of hearing that. It's so funny. Because that's what that's the thing I love about this, is that it has humor in its absurdity, but it's never self-aware humor. It's never winking at the camera.
Yeah, it doesn't take you out of the movie.
No.
It's very in-universe kind of humor. So, yeah.
Why is the Duke wearing a Union jacket with cowboy boots?
Why does he have chandeliers on his car?
I don't know. Why does he have... what was it we called it? The love child of Luis Miguel and the Joker?
Yeah.
Or something like that, because it's...
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe.
And Goku hair.
And Goku hair. Is this weird kind of, I don't even know, jester character?
Yeah, essentially.
His number two. You have all these, really kind of rap music and, lots of guns and everything, and then you got this weird, he looks like a
really
villain from Zelda.
Yeah, like a really scrawny Goku-looking
he looks
white guy.
He looks like a character from Majora's Mask. It's like, what are you doing here, woodland creature?
He does. He does look like a woodland creature.
He goddamn elf.
He could be an elf.
It's like
Link's lost
evil twin. Again, the evil twin. I'm telling you, they're everywhere.
Liquid. Because he's technically solid snake.
Wait, what?
And then there's liquid snake.
No.
Yeah.
That is the naming
That
convention?
is the name convention. I'm telling you, this series is amazing.
Why?
Their father, Big Boss.
Big Boss.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, his mentor was called Boss.
Okay.
He killed his mentor. Now he's Big Boss.
I'm just.
Wait.
Okay.
And his code name? Naked Snake.
Naked Snake.
Yeah.
I got a question because I got to confirm this for myself. I remember reading a little bit about this game. Are there clones involved?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Solid Snake and Liquid Snake are clones of Big Boss.
Oh, I see. They're not his kids.
They're not his kids. They're his clones.
Perfect.
And his one-night fling that he had on a mission at one point as Naked Snake is the one that bore the children without his knowledge.
Well, I guess he really was a naked snake.
He was a naked snake. There was even a scene by a fireplace.
Why?
I'm telling you, you gotta watch this game series. At least watch it.
What is happening? Why?
It's wonderful. I love it.
What is this?
I revel in its absurdity.
Oh my god. I mean, that's kind of what this movie is too, though. Let's be honest. You do revel in its absurdity.
Yeah, but it's its absurdity never reaches the heights of something like a Hideo Kojima game.
Mainly because it never breaks its own rules.
Yes.
Because it sets the tone so well. Because the first villain of New York we meet is this woodland creature dude, and then the first good guy character of New York we meet is Cabby, who is Ernest Borgnine of all people.
Borgnine, man Borgnine.
Ernest Borgnine is one of those actors who he just never stopped. He was acting in the 40s.
Yeah.
40s and 50s and gangster.
He kind of had like a Peter Falk vibe where he kept acting. He just never stopped.
He was in Red that came out in 2009.
Borgnine was in Red?
Yes.
Really?
He's the keeper of the records or something.
No, I don't remember the movie.
He's 91 in that movie.
Damn.
And he's still funny.
Oh.
He's that wonderful thing where Bruce Willis is trying to keep up with Borgnine and he's kind of like, yeah, there was someone down here. And Borgnine goes, oh yeah, cute hair.
Is he talking about Kurt Russell?
Yeah, that man has some cute hair in this movie.
Man does have cute hair.
That hair does not match this character.
No, it's so...
You expect him to have the hair he has in Soldier, but no.
No, he has voluptuous
Just the volume and the shine.
So good.
Oh, man.
So, yeah. No. And it kind of... Because we mentioned it while watching it. It kind of has a similar... effect as Warriors.
Yes, very much that kind of...
where it's absurd, but it's still in... it never breaks... Like you were saying, it never breaks its own rules. It's all within the context of the movie.
And it is...
And it takes itself very seriously.
It does take itself seriously. And the thing it does really well is that it is very, very quintessentially New York.
Yeah.
All the highlights are there. There's the Met. They go to... where is it? They are at Madison Square Garden. They're on Broadway. They're down on 42nd Street. They're very conscious of the New Yorkness of this movie. And they don't let that slide. Because that would have been the mistake. Yeah. If you just made this into a generic dystopia.
Yeah, no. The fact that it's New York makes it even more tangible.
And they keep it so grounded in the New York. You have Cabby, who's been driving that cab for 30 years, and in all his time, he's never seen anybody go out at night in that area of New York.
Yeah.
It's really, really New York. And that really helps to kind of ground it.
Yeah, no, that's what makes it sort of believable and...
Equally ridiculous.
Equally ridiculous, yeah, because it doesn't take you out of the movie. It actually immerses you more into the world.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the thing. It's kind of it's less of a parody on a film genre and more of a parody of a city.
Yeah.
This is hyper New York. This is bizarro hyper New York.
Dystopian, yeah.
Yeah, this is all the things you know about New York already to the nth degree. If you took away all the law and order and all the normal people and you just let New York be New York in all of its terribleness.
Oh, God. It's a good thing they never entered Central Park.
Yeah, oh boy. You don't know who lives there.
Yeah, I was shuddered at the thought.
Enter Central Park at night in this world. Nobody lives.
They had rat people in the sewers.
They had Turkish monsters at the Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Where they're trying to kill each other with baseball bats, and you're just kind of, I lost track of this movie.
And let's not forget the snake tattoo.
Wow, yeah, so Snake gets knocked out about halfway through, which is great, because there's a 24-hour time limit, half of which disappears in a nap.
Yeah, pretty much. Because they were at 12 hours, and then all of a sudden
there's 1.
Two.
2 or
150.
Yeah, something like that.
When he wakes up again, holy shit.
And he's got this amazing cobra tattoo on his abdomen.
And it's so colorful, too.
Yeah. And it's where does that end? Because we don't see the tip of that snake's tail. It goes down to his trousers. We don't know
where that tail ends.
It is such an... And it looks terrible. Let's be honest.
It looks horrible.
It looks like one of those things you put on and then you put the hot water on top of.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
You're like, that's just not a very good look, Mr. Russell.
But like I told you, bringing it back to Metal Gear, which is in the third game, where you play as Naked Snake, a.k.a. Big Boss, later on, when he kills his mentor, the boss. She tells him the story of how she gave birth on the battlefield and had to be a cesarean. And the scar on her stomach is in the shape of a snake, very similar to his tattoo.
I guess love did bloom on the battlefield?
Love did bloom on the battlefield. Her husband is now, I think, death or something. Yeah, it's supernatural weird shit.
What?
Yeah. If you die, you meet her husband. or boyfriend. I don't know, something like that.
I'm lost.
It's all explained in the third game. Not really, but it's all explained in the third game.
There's supernatural elements in this?
There's supernatural elements throughout the whole series.
What?
Yeah, there's in Metal Gear Solid, the first 3D one on PlayStation, you had a guy named Psycho Mantis, who is telekinetic and a mind reader.
Okay.
And ingenious. That boss battle is amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
because he can read your moves.
Admittedly, when I tried that first game, the thing I do remember is Fire Pony. So the little dude with it's like a villain from Doctor Who. It's a kid in a straitjacket with a gas mask going.
It's him as a grown up.
Wait, what?
That's in Metal Gear Solid, the PlayStation game.
What?
You fight against him as a grown up.
I'm sorry. What?
Yes.
I am utterly confused. Wait, are you telling me the last Metal Gear movie is a prequel?
Yeah.
What?
It's a prequel to even the first 80s MSX SNES games. It's before that.
My brain hurts.
No. This series is amazing.
I'm so glad Kurt Russell just has to go see the president.
There's actually a really cool 1 hour long YouTube video that explains the entire history of Metal Gear. And oh boy, do they there's some weird stuff in that.
I once watched...
Some guy falls in love with an AI. It's a whole thing.
I once watched a 20-minute attempt to break down the story for what is it called? Kingdom Hearts.
Oh no!
And
that's another one.
That melted my brain. I cannot watch an hour of Metal Gear.
Oh my god, Kingdom Hearts! That's another one of those where the first game sort of set up this really interesting premise and universe, and then they just went to town on it. I don't know what they did, but they took that story and they just did things to it. Really bad things we cannot speak of.
Things we cannot speak of. Yeah. My impression of the Metal Gear thing is kind of like, all right, everybody, we've got a bit of a thing here. It's we're going along quite nicely. What's that up ahead? That's the end of the cliff, sir. Oh, I see.
Well, keep driving.
Full steam ahead, said Kojima. Faster, boy! But
the beauty is that the last game ties everything up in a very neat bow.
Bullshit.
No, I'm not joking.
No.
Metal Gear Solid 4 and 5 tie absolutely everything up in a bizarre but very neat bow.
Please tell me it's all a dream or something like that.
No, it's nothing like that. Everything is real. but
it's not like
everything is nanomachine. It is and parasites and
I've never watched the show, but apparently there's this show that was kind of like an early version of ER set in a hospital that ends with the entire show having been a kid's dream.
Was it Doogie Howser?
No. I can't remember what it was, but it was this. It was this. Someone wrote a huge paper on it because this show had crossovers with other shows. And then you looked at the shows that had a crossover with. So apparently this one child had X-Files, The Simpsons, everything that's been referenced on The Simpsons. It was all just in his head, apparently.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What is the show?
I can't remember. Saint something hospital. But it was weird. It was like, is that a thing?
Because they did that on Dallas very famously, the soap opera.
Yeah, the dream sequence thing.
Yeah, where they basically have several seasons without a character because he died, and all of a sudden he's back, and it was all a dream. So it's not the first time.
We were losing our ratings, everybody.
Yeah, we needed to bring him back.
Oh.
And then he went on to do Step by Step.
Of course he did. What? Anyway.
For those who know, you know.
Yeah, I know. So,
step by step, day by day. So, set go. I'm using that word very loosely. It's not really that common.
Abdul, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
We sat down here to talk about Kurt Russel with an eye patch on.
Yeah, that's true.
Wielding an Uzi with a giant silencer.
Yes, we haven't even mentioned the Uzi. This Uzi is amazing.
Did you get us to step by step?
I don't know.
Of all things.
I'm really good at tangents. I don't know if you've seen this little building that I'm building here with the tangents. It's amazing.
Brother, you're not building a building anymore. You're building a highway. You have left town.
I'm building a whole cityscape.
Oh, mercy.
But yeah, we gotta mention the Uzi before we end this.
Oh,
the Uzi's incredible.
The gun's great. Yeah,
Yeah,
mainly because
it's got this humongous silencer. Or suppressor, technically.
Yeah, I mean, this thing is bigger than the thing that they were using in No Country for Old Men.
Yeah. No, this is huge. And then it has a scope on top.
Yeah.
Which is weird for an Uzi, because it's not very accurate.
And what's best is that he just wildly sprays the gun a few times,
Yeah.
and then Isaac Hayes gets the gun, and he's using it for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, pretty much. And then he actually uses it for its purpose, or
Quote-unquote.
quote-unquote purpose, at least in the movie, where he actually shoots with accuracy.
Yes. At the president, who has to learn the words, "You're the Duke of New York, you're A number one, the big
You're
man.
A number one,
You're
yeah.
A number one."
Which doesn't make any sense.
Nope.
But
You just accept, because it's the Duke of New York,
grammar.
and he's got tassels on his shoulders and chandeliers on his
If
car.
Twitter has taught us anything, is that grammar is not common. People make a lot of mistakes.
I love the fact that you even receive a note at one point with their threats, and it's badly written, and they make that point.
Yeah.
You give us president. It's not like it's
Yeah,
like really like.
But that's my point where
It's
like
so
everything
great.
is in universe, which makes
yeah.
it immersive, although absurd. But it doesn't pull you out of the movie at all.
No,
which
not
is
at
great.
It kind of keeps its own flow, and you know where you are in the story.
Yeah.
Which is this thing where it's kind of. But even then, it takes weird little twists and turns. Like we talked about Brain, Harry Dean Stanton.
Mm-hmm.
To find Brain, Kurt Russell first finds the president's tracker, which is attached to a homeless man
Yeah.
who's being just punched repeatedly in a basement.
Yes. Can we talk about that for a second?
That whole scene
That
there is
whole
just
scene.
so bizarre. Like
First, there is this really doped out lady that's being tossed around, and I'm
it looks like
guessing
they're
raped.
playing. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like they're playing tag or something.
Yeah, because they eventually rip her clothes, and then Kurt Russell just looks away. And like,
He's just like, oh, it's not my problem.
I'm not involved in this.
And he finds this guy just like this. You just see this edge of the hand, and this guy going, what the?
Yeah.
What? And you're just like, okay.
And he's repeatedly beating him, and Kurt Russell walks really slowly towards him.
Pulls the guy off, and the guy says, "Mr. President," and this old like hillbilly looks
Yes.
that says, "Yeah, I'm president.
I'm the president.
I
I told them.
I knew when I got this thing here, I'm the president." And you're just kind of like, and the best part though is he goes on the walkie and he's like, "This isn't the president." They're like, "Are you sure?" And he holds it up and he's going like, "I'm God save the chief,"
Yeah,
or something.
God save the chief or some bullshit like that. So I'm just singing the lyrics completely wrong to the national anthem.
The national anthem, and he's kind of like, "President's not here." And
Yeah, like, all right.
Shit, Sherlock.
Oh, it's wonderful.
And then he meets the cabbie, who is Ernest Borgnine, who then takes him to meet Brain, who's Mr. Fantastic, Mr. Fabulous. And it turns out in the middle of the National Library, they have put in an oil drilling platform somehow.
Yeah, an oil pump.
Oil pump is
the
a donkey.
Yeah, that's what they
Is pulling up oil from underneath New York.
And then the cabbie says, "Hey, can I get some gas while I'm here?"
And there's Harry Dean Stanton in he's dressed like Van Gogh. He's got he's got the artist coat and the cravat
and the ascot.
Ascot. It's like, what is
What is
happening?
happening? This is so bizarre.
Yeah, I mean this. You know what? It is a bit Fallout.
Yeah,
The humor is quite Fallout. The
That's
things
true.
that the way they incorporate the absurdity to make it like they have a Met show, which is We Love New York, which is Ben wearing the old costumes. No more Yankees.
Oh, yeah, no, that entire sequence is just like, what?
What is happening?
But yeah, Fallout, probably New Vegas.
Yeah, a lot of the same humor points.
Yeah.
Like they were tapping from the same well.
Yeah, we're mentioning video games a lot this episode.
Yeah, we are, mainly because this is almost a video game.
It is.
If someone had given this script in 10 to 15 years later, they wouldn't have made it into a movie. They would have made it into a game.
Yeah. It'll be a lot more action-filled, though. But
Yes, because this movie isn't heavy on the action. It was advertised as an action movie.
yes, which I think is probably one of the reasons why it was so critically panned, because it was advertised as an action movie, which I hate when advertisers do that.
Yep.
It's
Let's get those butts in the seats on the opening weekend.
because that's all that matters, really. It's unfortunately that's all that matters, cynically speaking.
Yep.
So that's what they do. But yeah, so it was advertised as an action movie. It's way more of a suspense thriller. kind of movie, with even some horror elements, like we mentioned that one scene with the sewer people.
Yeah, no, I mean, and this does happen. I mean, what was the one that really got me with this? You Were Never Really There, or You Were Never Really Here.
Yeah,
that was advertised as a much more not action, but more of a crime thriller, and not this dramatic kind of pathos movie.
Yeah, because I also watched it thinking it was going to be a crime thriller.
Yeah, like much more like Gone Girl or something like that. And it's but you know what I mean. It's like even Gone Girl was pretty misrepresented, but that was kind of on purpose. But
that movie is that movie does it within the movie itself.
You Were Never Really Here was more advertised like it was going to be something like a classic detective thriller or something like that, and it really just doesn't go that way.
Not even.
And this movie isn't. It has some instances of violence and some instances of gore, not too much.
Yeah, no, there's
but
a separate
it isn't
thing.
It isn't. The action isn't the fun.
Yeah, no,
that's kind of the thing. They're not doing the whole Stallone thing.
Yeah, like had Stallone done this, it would have been Phoenix,
juke,
yeah, juke,
wielding guns, jumping off a train car,
jumping out of a
carrying
helicopter.
Donald Pleasance on his back.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a John Woo movie.
Oh my god,
Donald Pleasance on the back going ah.
Yeah, it could have been that very easily, but it's not.
I'll be honest, I want that movie. But
yeah, that's Escape from LA.
That is Escape from. That is pretty much. You're actually right.
Yeah,
Now that you've said it,
LA.
that is Escape from LA. Wasn't very good.
No,
but,
it really wasn't.
No, not the 90s. But no, I mean this movie really does work for what it is, which is. But I think the thing is, like I said when we were watching it, the issue here is that, especially by the time period, it isn't balancing its genre with its audience very well.
Yeah.
It is a movie where the look, the feel, the content, all of that stuff is geared towards the young-ish. You're a culty kind of guy. You like the Stallone movies. It's aimed at that generation of people. But it's paced and put together like The Big Sleep. It's almost noirish.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
And it's very much that pacing and that kind of vibe it's carrying.
And that's the genre, by the way.
Yeah.
Neo-noir.
Neo-noir. Very neo-noir. But that doesn't, like, when you have Kurt Russell in this action outfit with the gun and all the rest of it, and then it turns into a noir thriller, you are leaving people behind.
Yeah.
It's hard to walk into this movie without knowing what you're getting into and guessing it right in terms of who this movie's for.
For sure, yeah, no. And, I mean, even watching it again today, after watching it, after having watched the last, which was almost like 10 years ago.
That's the same for me.
Yeah, it is. It's like we were saying, it does have a lot of good pacing.
Yep.
But yes, it is missing a little bit of more action.
Yeah.
You do notice it, like some scenes could have been done. Had it had a slightly bigger budget, maybe. Yeah,
but I think it's also it's more what the movie chose to do, which is that the problem solving here is more to do with trickery, betrayal, and information gathering. There isn't a lot of problem solving through violence.
Yeah, and so that's what I mean, where there's sort of a disconnect with the character.
Yeah.
Like you were mentioning, there's a disconnect there. Because you see, what you're seeing doesn't sort of translate very well with what's happening. Yeah,
because the entire it is this thing where it's like you've set up a boxing ring, then to watch out two men come out and play chess.
Essentially, is what it
yeah. I mean, and there are action beats in this. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's some actually really good action.
Like
beats in
while
this.
they're playing chess, someone does get slapped, but
but it is not what you kind of signed up for.
No.
And I can understand why the advertisers got it wrong. Because a lot of times back in the day, the advertisers didn't watch the movie.
No.
They got stills and a synopsis. It would have been really easy to misread this movie.
Yeah, because the synopsis, I mean, the
if you just read
the catalyst for the plot is very action.
Oh yeah, the president.
It's literally it's what a Die Hard movie could be. It's essentially a Die Hard.
Yeah, this is proto Die Hard.
Yeah,
Die Hard came a decade later, almost a little bit under a decade later, and this is proto Die Hard.
Yeah, I mean this would be the premise to a Die Hard movie, but instead what we get is sort of a noir
Yeah, but I mean, even Die Hard, and I think that's probably the problem, is that it's a little bit ahead of its time. Sure. This is the movie that would have worked way better in the late 80s. Yeah. Because we were kind of at the point where Stallone had a sci-fi movie, Die Hard was just coming out, where it was more a return to the old 70s hard-bitten cop and not these super soldier things. Yeah. This movie kind of came out a bit too early to reach its audience. Its audience wasn't there yet. They were going to come into their prime in the late 80s. Yeah,
it was just between being too early and too late.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Because what you really wanted is to come out in the late 80s so the people who like war games were now 70s. Old enough to like action movies.
Yeah.
And just that slight mistiming really did hurt it, I think. But that's why it's such a cult classic now, for the people who care.
And I think overall, I mean, we both recommend this movie.
Oh, completely.
I'd give this pretty much a 9 or something like that.
Yeah, it's not a quintessential. It's not Terminator. It's not quite there.
Yeah.
But it is really good.
It's a really good movie.
If you know what you're getting into.
Yes. That's the thing. Don't get fooled by trailers.
Don't get fooled by trailers. Listen to us. Neo-noir. Don't let your eyes deceive you on this one.
Yeah. And just, enjoy the absurdity.
Oh, yeah.
Because the movie certainly does.
This movie's going to take you for a ride. And if you're willing to go along with it, you're going to have a great time.
Yeah. So,
it's good to be back, man.
Yeah.
Miss doing this.
So many tensions. We barely spoke about the movie.
Sure, we did our job. We talked.
We talked.
That's all anyone can ask from us.
All right. So where can they reach us if they wish?
So if you would like to listen to us, or
you can
hear
catch
our
us.
content.
Yes,
we are on Stitcher. We are on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube,
and SoundCloud.
And if you would like to contact us directly, sightonscreen@gmail.com.
Yep. And you can also help support us via Patreon at patreon.com/sightonscreen.
That's right.
But more importantly, what we wish for you to do is just spread the word. If you enjoy our content, share it with your friends, share it with colleagues.
Yeah. And let them know that's a really serious podcast that's really good at staying on topic and really getting on with the discussion at hand.
Another name for this could have been Off Topic.
Off Topic would have been actually fantastic. It's better a clothes brand name, actually, but... We'll call that our band. But
all right, sure.
No, we love doing this. So please keep giving us a reason to do it. Listen, get someone else to listen.
And if you have any feedback, like we said, you can get us on you can email us. And thank you for listening. We'll catch you all next time.
Yep.
Bye-bye.